That's my mom, though. My mom would fall on her sword for me.
If I was one of Cody's ex-wives, I don't think there's a metaphor out there that would annoy me more than if someone kept telling me hindsight is 2020. But I use that all the time in my videos about sister wives. Cause like, while true, if I marry Christine or Janelle, I at minimum wasted 2.5 decades of my life on this dude, and I've been embarrassing myself on national TV championing a man who said love should be multiplied when in fact he had no actual interest in multiplying his love. I mean, shoot, Kody Brown was never even interested in help with time management. Reality shows don't typically run for 19 plus seasons. Those of us longtime Sister Wives fans have had a unique experience of going along the journey of this family unravelment with the Browns. Hindsight is in fact 2020. And Cody's treatment of his mother and how he allowed her to be treated by his father really should have told the OG3 everything they needed to know about this man. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get into today's video. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel.
Here's the funny thing about a mother. What's hers is mine and what is mine is mine. Because she'll give me anything that she's got. So this is my mom's breakfast. And she's so sweet.
This is one of the more notorious Sister Wives clips that just shows how selfish Kody really is. Literally bragging about eating his mother's breakfast out of her hand because that is how entitled and selfish he is. Single people beware. If a potential future partner treats anyone in their life like this, run. Don't walk. Run. A brief polygamy backstory on Kody. So Kody grows up mainstream LDS. When he's 18, he goes on his mission. 2 years later, when he comes home, he is told that his parents, at apparently his mother's behest, have adopted this fundamental Mormon offshoot belief system that endorses polygamy. According to Kody, his mom, mother to him and his 9 siblings, was like, Win, I just really need you to marry another woman. To my knowledge, middle-aged Win doesn't go on to have more children with any of his plural wives. He only has kids with Janelle, Cody's mom. He does have some stepkids like Janelle, Cody's second wife, but that is a whole other story.
I've said in the past that most of my family disowned me or was appalled when I made the decision to join the faith. The only exception is actually my mother, who was trying very hard to support me. So she came with me to visit the family just to see what it was all about. And so she made the conversion to the faith, and then she actually married Cody's dad.
I was going to skip over that part, but nah, we really do need to always highlight just how fucked up this family dynamic has always been. Hot take. It's always atypical for step siblings to marry each other. Now, it's not quite as salacious as all of it sounds like it is, being that Kody and Janelle did not grow up as siblings, but it's still something that would make one go, huh? Add on top of that, the fact that Janelle becomes sister wives with her ex-sister-in-law. I mean, I feel like I'm talking in Jerry Springer episode topics right now, but no, this is just the wholesome polygamous Brown family. You know, just out here multiplying love, families, not felons. Looking at how a man treats their mom, and especially a mom in polygamy, and allows her to be treated in polygamy, should tell you as a possible plural wife a lot about how you should expect to be treated in polygamy. The one person that I think was even close to accepting just living on the periphery of Kody's life was Mary, but even she was still delusional as fuck. So the real deal is Kody's dad essentially adopts a new religion that would allow him to not only openly cheat on his wife that he clearly wanted nothing to do with anymore, but it allowed him to actually abandon her in plain sight. And I already talked about how Kody was planning on doing this in Flagstaff if the OG3 didn't wise up in time. I maintain he was going to do this to Robyn too, because Kody didn't want to shack up in that huge one house proposal with Robyn. No, he wanted his own space. In season 2, the Browns seek refuge from the press at Cody's family's ranch, and we meet Wynn and 2 of his wives, who also happen to be Kody and Janelle's moms. I believe Wynn had one other wife, but she did not want to appear on the show. Part of this episode consisted of the family painting Cody's mom's house, and I will just never get over how dilapidated Cody's mom's house looked. I would do everything in my power to not ever let my parents live in a domicile like this. I actually talked to Cody's nephew, Ben, about the ranch, and this was how he lived too. And he talked about this term future faking, which he felt was perpetrated on him by his father. You know, we live like paupers now because soon we will be living like kings. So I wonder if that was the kind of BS that Wynn told Janelle to make her okay with living in a house like this. When Wynn started taking more wives, he stopped taking care of Janelle or their family, meaning their kids.
I got to know Wynn, and I really became quite attached. Didn't work that way at first with Janelle and I.
When Cheryl came into the family, I had a difficult time because I was jealous, and I took care of kids and she took care of Wynn. And so it was a difficult thing for me for quite a while.
Janelle seemed to accept her sacred loneliness, which was not something Christine was ever going to do, that's for sure. But this should have been a big red flag to Christine. Like, if Cody thinks it's cool for his dad to treat his mom this way, he's probably going to think it's okay to treat you this way too. I actually talked to Cody's nephew, Ben, about Wynn and his marriages and about him having a favorite wife. You know, it's so funny that, and I think you just reacted to the episode where they go to the ranch. And
I watched that. I haven't actually made any content around it yet.
Oh, okay.
So much.
But you had made a comment in something that you put out that, like, a good indication of who the favorite wife is where your grandpa.
Where are the John Wayne movies?
Yes. Yeah. And it's sad because in that episode, you know, Grandma Janelle is, you know, clearly there's an affection between Cheryl and Janelle.
100%.
And they grew to love each other. You can definitely see that and feel that. But Janelle talks about how hard it was to have this other woman come in and have Wynn. And it's like, so truly, because at the same time during that episode, we see Cody and Mary talk about how usually it's the woman that's pushing the man into, and it just.
I've heard that story about it's usually the woman pushing the man my entire life. And guess what? It's always men saying that.
Yeah. That's validating to have you say that, because I'm like, this feels not to be the case, because if I'm Janelle and it hurts to see my husband with another woman, I'm not going to be pushing him to be with another woman.
so there's two things there, right? So one of them is 100% like that. I believe that narrative of like, it's the women that want to do this is 100% a narrative that has been cooked up and fed to women by the men. And they're just, if the men are saying it and the women are just repeating it because that's what they're supposed to do, because this guy is my connection to God. So 100% that's true. And the other thing you got to really understand is that the point of polygamy is that it's difficult. It's one of the highest laws because it's a refiner's fire. I grew up all the time. We would talk about how polygamy was supposed to make you so jealous. It was supposed, all of the horrible, awful things that happen were just refining and purifying your spirit. And so it's entirely possible that my grandma Janelle felt awful, felt terrible, and still felt like she was that she actually believed that was doing the right thing, that pain was purifying her. And that to me is, I think, one of the grossest. I think that's a gross belief. I think it is absolutely disgusting to trick humans into believing that pain is good for them.
Yeah, I get the sentiment to a degree, because obviously like suffering to a certain extent is inevitable.
Yeah.
And to try to put a positive spin on that is probably self-preservation. I can appreciate that, but it's almost like to seek out suffering just seems really
to seek out and then to specific, because really what's going on there, like if I could go to every member of my family, I would love to do this to every member of my family, to just take their face in my hands and force them to look at me and stop dissociating for 5 seconds and just say to them, the things that you feel in your body are true and you can trust them. Right? Because what my grandma's feeling in her body right then is jealousy. What does jealousy do? Jealousy is an emotion that guards you, that protects you, that makes sure that you get what you fucking deserve. And she's not. She's a woman with 10 children whose husband is now off with some person that has no children. Right? So in that same episode, Grandma Janelle's like, she felt like I took care of the kids and
she took care of Lynn. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably what happened. And probably what grandma was feeling was a ton of jealousy. And what that jealousy was telling her was, bitch, get yours. Stand up for yourself. Don't let yourself be treated this way. Go to that man and say, hey, get over here and take care of these fucking kids that you made with me. But we've been so conditioned in that worldview that our feelings are bad and that our feelings are Satan, that our feelings are trying to sort of tempt us and move us away from the true path, which is difficult and hard. And so when it is difficult and hard, when your life sucks, that's evidence that you're doing the right thing.
Wynn's not storing his John Wayne movies at a house he never goes to. I think Cody could probably count on one hand the amount of times he even went to Mary's Flagstaff home. He probably always needed to GPS directions to it. He only ever went there for filming purposes, and he certainly wasn't storing anything there. Like I said before, Mary was the closest to being the Janelle in Cody's life, but her very presence ended up being so triggering to Cody that he just couldn't fake the funk any longer, and he started talking mad shit about her on their reality show. And Mary was like, well, I guess it was really never going to happen. And Mary was like, bye, and I'm taking my paychecks with me. But Cody's so dumb, because for more than a decade, Mary was down to just sit in her own house on the off chance that Cody might throw her a smile here and there. Most of the people that watch my channel either are or are approaching middle age, and we want to make sure our parents are taken care of in the best way possible. We want to be making them breakfast, not taking their breakfast literally out of their own hands. And we are certainly going to be defensive of how our parents are treated. We aren't going to allow them to live in dilapidated isolation while their husbands are off canoodling with another woman. Really, Cody's treatment of his mother and how he allowed her to be treated by his father really should have told the OG3 everything they needed to know about him. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Check out my second channel, Sarah Spills, and my podcast, Mostly Harmless. Links for both of those will be in the description of this video. Follow me on Instagram, Threads, X, and TikTok at Reality Squad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.